Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. You know, I actually had to stop for a good 10, 15 minutes, give or take, because I was like, how am I actually going to sit there and review this? Well, there really wasn't a lot of anything that really happened, but there was some interesting moments. So, I want to get to my favorite part. You all know what my favorite part is. And that, of course, is Nina, Peter, and Carly. So Peter's not there just dangling, oh, I wonder what happens if Carly finds out, about, all that stuff that happened in Nixon Falls. And then Carly's like, yo, what's he talking about? What was this whole thing Nixon Falls? And, Nina, oh, man, I'm going to be honest, that was great. The look, the panic, and her facial expression, the fact that she was just trying so hard to run interference. Oh, he's a criminal, he's a liar, all he does is lie and cheat and brings death and this, that, and the third. You can't believe a word that he says. It was great. I loved it. Of course, Peter had to be a dick and bring up Jason. So when he did that, of course, Carly smacked him. And they was wheeling him off. And, Peter was like, I hope she doesn't find anything about Nixon Falls or something like that. And, and Carly was like, all right, so you want to sit there and tell me what's going on with this whole, like, what more happened in Nixon Falls? So, Nina tries her best. And she talks about the fact that, oh, well, Peter was sitting there blackmailing me. I had the whole Sonny, when it's not there trying to keep Sonny away from y'all. He was blackmailing me. And at this point, Carly's like, yep, you're responsible. Because if you would have called the cops, if you would have did what you had to do, then Jason would still be alive. Now, here's the thing. I can't sit there and say she's wrong, but I can't sit there and say she's right either. I mean, Peter has been getting away for a very long time. And, I mean, it seems like it's kind of a small town, not really a lot of, big kind of cops there. I mean, you saw the deputy trooper or whatever that just, doesn't really seem too bright, more angry than anything else. I doubt that he can sit there and take on Peter. Let's put it that way. So, I get where Carly is coming from, but, I mean, hell, even if Nina did call the cops, it wouldn't, Peter would have most likely got away anyway. But at this point, it doesn't matter because Carly doesn't like Nina, so, I mean, she could practically blame, I don't know, pollution on her. So, yeah. So after Sonny and Britt have a nice talk, I actually did like their little talk or whatever. It was actually nice and that they're just seeing them together in the scene. So after they have their talk and Sonny is they're walking Britt back to the office, they run into those two arguing. And now Sonny once again has to sit there and play referee. So plays referee. Nina leaves. She goes somewhere. Carly is angry and she's mad that Sonny is not as mad as she is. So they're going back and forth. Um, Carly's like, you know what? Listen, I'm not even gonna, cause it's one of those things like you ever just got so mad at somebody that if you didn't just walk away when you did, you would wind up saying something that you regretted. So that's what she got to a point where she just walked off because, Sonny gets a text, and of course it's from Nina, and she's like, you know what, I can't, I can't deal with this. So she walks off. Um, Sonny eventually goes to talk to Nina. Now, Michael and Willow are there because Drew had to sit there and break the news. So they go off to find Sasha and Brando to make sure that they're okay, whatever, with the baby and stuff like that. So they go to the hospital and they split up. Willow winds up going to the chapel. Now, of course, Nina is in the chapel and she's talking to Sonny, and they're both like, we got to make sure that Carly doesn't find out this, that, and the third or whatever. And now Willow's just kind of standing like, and it's kind of it's one of those things where it's like, I know some people could sit there and look at the situation, be like, oh well, Willow, you should have walked away. You should have made your presence known. You shouldn't have been sitting there eavesdropping or anything like that. But it's one of those things where it's like, once you see it and you hear a fraction of what they're talking about, they're kind of just like, what? What is going on? Especially since she's so close to the family. She's practically, more or less kind of family. So it's not one of those things you can kind of just easily just walk in like, hey, I'm here, but yeah, I kind of heard part of that. Like, you can't really do, so I can understand why she just stood there. But of course she stood there, and now she's hearing news about, Nina and Sonny and keeping the secret from Carly. And of course at this point she doesn't know exactly what it is. So when you don't know, you kind of draw your own conclusions, which is usually worse than what the actual truth is. Now she knows something. It was nice that they're seeing, Drew as always, but more to the point, just Drew interacting with Michael. Now, they both kind of agree that, listen, we didn't find a body yet, so there's no guarantee that he's gone. It's just the odds are really stacked against him. Of course, the odds was really stacked against Drew, but, we all know the real reason why they're pushing for this whole, he's probably dead, so let's just kind of close the case. And the thing, here's the... So when I came back watching the show, I came back and they killed off Morgan. And I remember for a good while I was pissed off because they were like, oh, we found a bloody shirt and some shoes. Yeah, no, he's dead. Yeah, no, he's dead. I mean, we don't have a body, but I mean, bloody shirt, I mean, yeah. And it's just one of those things where it was like, y'all didn't even find like a body. I remember they said they found remains, but it was like, well, what does that mean? Does that mean like body parts? Does that mean like, I don't know, shoes and socks? Like, what is, and it was just one of those things where it's like they just closed it so quickly, they just kind of just got it over with and just moved on as though like, yep, no, he's dead. That's your son. You're certain you're not going to try to do more of an extensive look? Like, no, he's dead. So I understand, I know somebody in the comment section was like, wow, they just, like, not even spent their bothering to try to look for Jason. Like, Sonny got a private jet. Carly should be down there. Like, what is going on? And so then both are just assuming, yep, nope. I mean, I trust Anna and her people. So, they say there's no life, there's no life. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Now, of course, before Michael and Willow left to the hospital, Willow was outside talking to Chase and Brooklyn to give, Drew and... I keep forgetting his name for some odd reason. Drew and Michael, a chance to talk or whatever, kind of like, hear the news about Jason. And that's when Willow found out that Bailey, for the purpose of the show, is, Chase is the father of Bailey. So she's all shocked and she's surprised. And I'm just looking like, in my imagination, does she look a little hurt? Or mad or something? Because if so, good. I know that's kind of a dickish thing to say, but like, given everything, given the way that Willow and Michael handled their whole, practically going behind Chase's back with their affair and everything like that, and the fact that she seemed like she was a little kind of hurt or surprised, like, and you're not together anymore. Why does it matter? I mean, you have that look on your face like it matters. It shouldn't matter at all. I really do hope it matters. Just because. Well, just because I'm a petty dick, but More to the point of how much pain that she caused that man. So to be honest, if she gets a fraction of pain, I'm good with that. So Laura and Martin Gray still in protective custody. Now there's one point where you have this, I don't know, I guess cleaning lady um come to the door. But the guard is like, yo, I don't know you. Like, who are you? And she's all like, oh well, so and so called in sick. Yeah, that's cool, but I don't know you. So you're not coming in this door. So she left some cleaning supply, whatever, and just walked off. And we found out later on that it seemed like she was talking to Cyrus because she was like, oh yeah, they fell for it or whatever. Um, so I don't know what's going on with that, but Cyrus is still out for blood, vengeance, and all that good stuff. Meanwhile, Laura and Martin Gray, has had a long time to like bond and just kind of just chill together. And when the guard brings, well, yeah, when the security guard or whatever brings them the newspaper, because I was sitting there thinking, I was like, well, why are they bringing them the newspaper? But then I'm like, wait, they can't use phones and stuff like that, so okay, fine. Um, I don't know. Whenever I sit there and see people, like, even at my job, when people sit there and like buy newspapers, I'm just like, do you have like a VCR stash somewhere too? Like, what's, I don't know. I just feel like it's just so extremely retro. I mean, I know it's still a thing, but to me, it just seems retro. Anyway, when they bring in the newspaper, Laura learns that Victor's alive and he's in Port Charles. Now she's like, yo, we gotta go. We gotta go now because he's a bad man. He's a bad influence. This, that, and the third. Just kind of, pretty much, kind of gives Gray a summary of what kind of person he is. So she's like, yo, we gotta go. And Martin's like, no, we gotta stay because, well, Cyrus is a psychopath, and the minute we walk out those doors, well, he's gonna kill us both. So we can't risk it. So it should be interesting to see what happens when they do get to Port Charles, because either they will get to Port Charles or they will get stopped by Cyrus, ordering a hit for them. So I guess we'll just see. But at least they'll be doing something, so that's cool. So was there a reason why Drew wanted to hold Baby Bailey? I don't know. I guess maybe because that would be considered like the uncle or whatever. Maybe I'm not too sure. Anyway, point is, one second. Point is, he does talk to Chase and Brooklyn. He's like poor Maxie and stuff like that. Like at least when I was going, I knew my child was safe. But with Maxie, like no idea. When did they actually bond so much? Like when was that a thing? Anyway, point is, Drew's like, listen, I'm not like now that I'm back, I'm not gonna stop until Maxie gets her baby back in her arms. And when he said that, Brooklyn just kind of looked at Chase like, oh, now we got another one. And I'm just like, so we're just gonna just keep this lie just going straight on, right? We just, I mean, how many people that know now so far? I mean, we got Nina, I'm assuming. We got Nina. We got Chase. We got Brooklyn. And now Chase already knows. It's not going to be that much of a stress before Valentine knows. And now you got Drew that's like, you know what? I got a lot of time in my hands since like I'm not working or anything. So yeah, I'm going to sit there and go get that baby back. And I'm just like, so we're just going to keep this lie going? I guess at this point, no, they really don't. I know that, here's the thing, I know that Peter is back in town, but I feel like there's strength in numbers, and it's just better just to get the hurt right off, especially for Ned, which somebody in the comment section mentioned. Just rip that band-aid right off, like, for real. Like, what are we doing? Why are we still lying for? This is just, it's at a point where it's beyond stupid, Even when I understood her reasons why, I felt like this was dumb. But now we're getting to a point, it's like, all right, once Chase knows, it's like, what are we doing? Carly had a nice moment with Britt because, Britt didn't want Carly to get, banned from the hospital when Sasha was there. So I guess was just kind of there just to calm her down or whatever, because she looked like she wanted to find Nina and tear her head off. But I have a feeling that tomorrow, um, Carla's gonna go and see Peter and find out what else was going on in Nixon Falls, because she knows that Nina was not telling her the whole truth. And it's gonna be great when she finds out. I don't think she's gonna find out tomorrow. I don't think that Peter's gonna just give up leverage, any leverage. Um, Especially if he can find a way to use Nina, you know? Like, no, I'm just gonna sit there and toy with her because, well, he's Peter and that's what he does. Oh, and lastly, before I forget, because I was just about to sit there and say, well, I think that's about it. Last part was Victor, Nicholas, and Ava. I'm just gonna think. I'm like, this is the second time that I had to sit there and say Ava today. Anyway, so they're talking, and Victor talks about Hayden, and Nicholas is like, all right, well, what did you do to Hayden? Because I didn't ask you to do anything. And Victor was like, nah, I did it as a favor, because we're family. You don't have to ask for help or anything like that. But he doesn't say what he did to her. He's just like, I did it and it's taken care of, so don't worry about it. Like, whatever I did or didn't do, you don't have to sit there and worry about it. But I will need a couple of favors in the future, and well, point is, if I go down, you go down, more or less. And when he leaves, Nicholas is like, yo, we got to get Victor out of this town ASAP. Like, he needs to be gone. And it's funny too, because in the beginning, Victor was like, all right, I got some business to discuss with Nicholas. And they was like, yeah, that's cool. Well, oh, you didn't think I was leaving, did you? No, I wasn't leaving. Why would I leave for? I mean, his business is my business. We're married. Like, what's good? And even Nicholas was like, no, it's some really important business. Like, that we guys did sit there and discuss. I'm like, bro, are you serious? You really just want to sit there and just shut her out? Like, why? I don't understand why. Anyway, she does stay to hear about the meeting or whatever, but the thing is, they don't really discuss what Victor did to Hayden. And so, I don't know why my nose is itching so much. Yeah, that was about it. For the most part, he didn't really sit there and say what it was, but I just hope whatever it is, it doesn't take like another 3 or 4 months to find out. Like, all right, I guess we're gonna sit there and wrap up this whole Hayden Barnes thing, and it takes less than 3 months. I mean, as I'm sitting there saying that, I'm like, listen, as bad as that is, I don't know how many people watch Days, but from watching Days, I've been complaining that there's certain scenes or certain characters or certain storylines that did not wrap up, and one of them is Hope. And I don't understand how they didn't bother to wrap that up since. So as I'm sitting there complaining, like, all right, we're finally going to get around to this whole Hayden Barnes thing, it's like, when are we going to do that? But then again, I'm like, when are we going to sit there and get to the whole Holly thing? Remember Holly? Yeah. I'm wondering, are they actually going to sit there and actually do anything with her? I mean, I know the last scene was the last scene for a reason, but, like, I don't like loose ends, especially when they just last way too damn long. Anyway, I feel like that's about it for the most part. But as always, I also feel like I missed a bunch of stuff. Hopefully nothing too major if I did. It's funny that I was because it took me a minute. I was like, what am I going to sit there and talk about? Like, not really a lot happened. And so I went on Brock TV's video for a little bit, typed up GH Reviews. And of course, when I typed up GH Reviews, eventually I was able to find my own video, which took like about 15 videos before. But I was able to actually find my own video. And then I also saw somebody else's, like, it's always interesting when you look up GH reviews or whatever. I found somebody else that does GH reviews. He's actually been doing GH content for a while. I mean, he kind of mixes it up with like wrestling stuff or whatever. But it was just kind of interesting because I was like, I never actually seen his until like I had to really like just tapping on a button before I actually found his. I'm like, what the hell? Anyway, I guess when you look up my name, eventually I come up, like 15, but come up, so that's something. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. See you in the next video.